All right, good morning, beautiful people. A little 12:45 a.m. podcast on a Sunday morning after the college football games have finally gone final between what was the best conference in all of football, the ACC, between Duke and Virginia. Duke wins. Duke 7-5. They will be going home. Although Manny Diaz did say they don't get wins like this. Duke, the reason why Duke should be in the playoff over James Madison and over Tulane is because they don't get wins like this. So Duke should be in. We don't need evidence for something that you strongly believe in, is what I tweeted out earlier. So we'll see. Wanted to react to all the games that happened today and who's going to be in the playoff and who I think the committee is going to put in the playoff. For the new ones here, I'm Dylan Denmark on this YouTube channel, Denmark and Marsh. Make sure we're liking and subscribing to the channel. And let's jump right into it. So Ohio State falls to Indiana. Indiana, pretty remarkable. Ohio State was shut out in the second half. Indiana forced Ohio State on 2 3rd-and-1s. Ohio State ends up going for it on 4th-and-1 at the 5-yard line. Julian Sands' knee is down. Turnover on downs, and then happens late in the fourth quarter. Another 3rd-and-1 situation. They don't get it. 4th down. They kick the field goal. They miss it. The kicker whiffs. Indiana wins 13-10, and hats off to Kurt Cignetti and what they were able to do. I, like most people, thought Ohio State was going to win this game probably by about 7 or 10 points. And man, at the beginning of the year, I thought Indiana was going to be one of those teams where we're going to run their mouth and be cocky all year. And I thought a lot of the teams in the Big Ten were going to line up and just ready to essentially just kick their ass. And Indiana essentially did exactly what they did a year ago. And that's beat everybody up and really not have any close games for the most part. They went to Eugene, Oregon and beat Oregon pretty good. They played Ohio State. They trailed 10-6 at the half. Indiana shuts out Ohio State in the second half. Um, that was pretty remarkable. Virginia, they blow a second half lead by 10 points in the last like 6 minutes of the game. That game, I know a lot of people were probably like me watching more of the Ohio State Indiana game. I had the double box going, but I had the audio going on the Ohio State Indiana game. Virginia led that game 20-10 at one point. Duke comes roaring back. They tie the game at the very end. They go to overtime. Duke gets a touchdown on a 4th down. They had the ball 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. Don't get it on 1st or 2nd or 3rd. They go for it on 4th and goal, the 2-yard line. Quarterback rolls out, finds his man for a touchdown, and a roughing the passer is called on Virginia. So Virginia has to go start their overtime back at their own back at the 40-yard line, which I never knew that a penalty that happens at the end of one of the overtimes is going to roll over to the next overtime. It did, and Virginia throws an interception. So Virginia could have played their way into the college football playoff. They don't, and now the ACC is wondering, will we have a team get in the playoff? And it's going to be great theater. So here's how I think the committee is going to have this tomorrow. No controversy. First 4 seeds, they're all going to have a bye. It's going to be Georgia. It's going to be Indiana. It's going to be Texas Tech. And it's going to be Ohio State. Those 4 teams. What's going to be really intriguing is, okay, is Ohio State going to be the 3 or is Ohio State going to be the 2? I think I would probably have them say that the committee, and not my opinion, I think the committee is going to have Ohio State as the 2 seed, Georgia as the 3. The teams are going to be playing at home. Your 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to be Oregon, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M. No real controversy there. So that's the easy stuff. Your top 8 teams. And then also your automatic qualifiers, Tulane, James Madison. Those will be your 11 and 12 seeded teams. Question becomes Alabama, Miami, and Ohio State. Who gets in? Who's out? We believe that BYU got blown out again. Texas Tech is a really good football team. Texas Tech, by the way, has a real chance to win this national title. I think 4 teams can win the national title. It's the 4 teams that have a bye: Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia, Texas Tech. But the 3 teams that have a chance to get in the bubble for the 2 slotted, 1 team's gonna be pissed, 2 teams are gonna get in. I think the committee is going to put Alabama in. I don't agree with it. I would not have Alabama in, but I think the committee is going to put Alabama in the college football playoff because they played an extra game that Miami and Notre Dame did not play today. And even though Alabama lost and they're trending in the wrong direction, they'd lost to Oklahoma. They didn't look that good against Auburn, and they looked bad today. They had negative 3 yards rushing. But Alabama has previously beaten Georgia. That's probably the best win of the 3 teams of Miami and Notre Dame. And remember, Alabama went into Athens and beat them. Again, not saying I agree with this, but I think Alabama is going to be in the college football playoff tomorrow. And it's going to be decided between, okay, Miami and Notre Dame. Who gets in? I think they will pick Miami, and I would pick Miami. I mean, if you have the same record and you played on the field, there's too many times where in college football previously, and you look at any year and you debate who's in. If there's for the 2 seed. Remember, Gator fans remember in 2006 it was Florida, Michigan. And all you could go on was how you felt, and you put up all these stats. We've seen in playoffs in previous years. We saw a couple of years ago it was between Florida State and Alabama, undefeated Florida State and Alabama, who just won the SEC. Um, so, and you have to judge on how they look and all these data points, and everything like that. This was settled on the field, and yes, it was way back in week 3 or whatever it was, week 4, but they played. And Miami should beat them, and that really should be the end of the conversation, I think. If the committee is choosing between Miami and Notre Dame. This is going to be tough because the committee, we always talk about brands and, well, the team with the bigger brand gets in. Well, you have Alabama, arguably the biggest brand in college football. You have Notre Dame, one of the biggest brands in college football, and then you have Miami. So this is going to be very interesting to see 2 of the 3. Alabama got put up 1 spot ahead of Notre Dame because just in case if they had lost to Georgia today, they would still have that wiggle room. Well, they not only lost today, they got blown out, and it didn't really look like they belonged on the same field as Georgia. So I think Alabama goes back down to 1 spot, and then I think the debate's going to be between Miami and Notre Dame. We'll see. I think they're going to go with Miami just because of the head-to-head, and you're kind of not that you're setting a precedent, but it just I don't know how you as the committee could say if you are between Miami and Notre Dame, how you can't just say this they played head-to-head, that's it, and we're going to move on. Feeling sad. There's 3 things that I won't be able to mark off my bucket list this year. Now I have to wait another year. Yeah, I don't know what kind of a fan you are. Lunar Equity 1993. As we still have a couple people. I'm surprised we have this many people as we're live at 1 a.m. But I think that's what the committee is going to do. Great day of college football. Texas Tech has a viable shot at winning the national title. I thought before today there were 4 teams that could win the national title. It's Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia, and Texas Tech. And the more you watch Texas Tech, then you see how good their front 7 is on defense. You can play with anybody. And I know some people are going to say, well, it's the Big 12. They're not as good. True. But when you have multiple guys on the defensive line that aren't blockable, you're not going to go playing against teams that are in the Big 12 and then all of a sudden play a team like an Ohio State or Indiana, and now they're not going to be able. They're not going to know what to do. Um, I watched Texas Tech play against BYU the first time a couple weeks ago, or I guess it was closer to a month ago now. I watched them play again tonight, and I watched them play another game a couple weeks ago. Texas Tech is legit, and money doesn't buy happiness; it can buy you a football team. And everybody with the NIL and fans, we gotta get together and pinch some, get a couple $100. If you care about your team, pay for your team, pay for your players. I mean, that's cool and all, but in reality, it's more of, okay, how many people do I have that are multimillionaires, or in Texas Tech's case, a billionaire, and can buy players? And they've done that. They did it with the softball pitcher. Gave her $1 million NIL deal. Texas Tech was really good in softball. They've now done it with football, and they're going to be a legit team. They're going to be really good. I think they're going to play. It's probably going to be Oregon in that 5 seed. That's going to be a very good game, and whenever that time falls, which will probably be in 2 weeks. Remember, all teams have 2 weeks off, and that first game is going to be like last year, December 19th, that Friday night game, and then they're going to have, I believe it's the 4 remaining games on that December, the remaining 3 games rather, on December 20th. That's Saturday night. So that'll be a lot of fun. I don't see a field like last year where it's wide open, but last year you had a 7 seed Notre Dame and an 8 seed Ohio State make the national title. I don't see that this year. Um, Granted, I haven't seen a lot of Oregon, but they don't seem like they're a team to beat. Ole Miss, no Lane Kiffin. I think they'll have a really good first round game, but I don't see them making a run for the national title. Oklahoma, John Mateer hasn't been the same since his thumb injury, and their offense isn't clicking like it once was in the beginning of the season. Texas A&M, they're trending in the wrong direction, just like Alabama. A&M, I mean, A&M trailed at half against South Carolina. What was it, like 30-3 or something ridiculous before they went on a run in the second half, and they lost to Texas. I don't think that Texas A&M is a team that can go on a run and win 3 games. Alabama, definitely not. Miami, they could go on a run to the Final Four. I don't think they can win it all. Notre Dame, if they get in, I think Notre Dame's in that same lump with Miami. I think Notre Dame, if they do get in, can make a Final Four, but I don't think they can win a national title. And then, Tulane and James Madison, good luck to you. I've seen, some lines where Tulane would be what we thought was going to be Tulane, Oregon, first round playoff. Doesn't look like that. It's probably not going to happen. Oregon's a 24-point favorite. I saw from a couple of people that do the odds makers on Twitter. They kind of put that projected spread out there, and looks like James Madison is going to get the nod, and potentially no ACC team, at least not the ACC champ, a 7-5 Duke team. So yeah, we'll see. I won't be able to give my immediate reaction to the college football ranking show, reaction to who's in the playoff and who's not tomorrow, because I'll be going to the Jags game. So I might do a pop-up little show tomorrow for you. But remember to like and subscribe to the channel. We're at 600 subscribers on YouTube. Denmark and Marsh, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button.